Blinken to Kazakhstan government. It's hard to get Russians to leave once they're in your home.
Here's a summary of the article.
Washington. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned Friday that Kazakhstan will find it difficult to lower Russian influence after inviting in troops to quell unrest. I think one lesson in recent history is that once Russians are in your house, it's sometimes very difficult to get them to leave, Blinken told reporters. Blinken, who spoke with his counterpart from Kazakhstan on Thursday, renewed his call for respect for peaceful protests, media freedom and for the end of an internet blackout. Russia later slammed Blinken as boorish. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken tried to make a funny joke today about the tragic events in Kazakhstan, Russia's foreign ministry said Saturday in a statement on Facebook. A boorish attempt, but then again not his first one, it said, adding that Blinken ridiculed a totally legitimate response of the CSTO. It is not clear how many troops are being sent in the force, which includes units from ex-Soviet states Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, but media in Moscow have said the Russian contingent is expected to number less than 5,000. If Antony Blinken is so into history lessons, here's one that comes to mind. When Americans are in your house, it can be difficult to stay alive, not being robbed or raped, the Russian Foreign Ministry said.
This post received a score of 5,300, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Kazakhstan government to Blinken, that was the plan. He will happily have Russia keep troops in a forward position. Uzbekistan are the key regional power here and they are staunchly anti-Russian. They counted on Kazakhstan being a sort of buffer against Russia and its influence in Central Asia. Most likely the Uzbeks and the Russians will come to blows on various issues in the coming decades, similar to how Russia and Eastern Europe are in a state of constant tension. It's been a long time since Russia had to be wary of multiple fronts like this, the major difference being that modern Russia has far less resources than when it was the Soviet Union.
I believe the guy with the power RN is the same guy who was head of state when Kazakhstan was the only country in the Soviet Union for like 3 days. Dude loves the USSR so much he didn't want to leave even after Russia left. Granted, I think this guy was recently relieved of his powers. I think he was the chief of the army and intelligence or something, so who knows. Kazakh capital is still named after him though.
Well, in 2019, Kazakhstan produced 43% of the world's uranium, so no one is leaving anytime soon.
And lots of oil. They also provide a lot of land to the south Russia can use. They even launch their rockets there, because it's further south, which means the Earth's rotation provides more velocity. Same reason the ESA makes use of French Guiana and the US makes use of Florida.
How can one part of Earth provide more velocity? Due to it being south?
All points on the Earth need to rotate around the axis once per day. Points near the pole need to travel less distance than points near the equator, so the points near the equator need to move faster. This means if you launch near the equator, you start off traveling faster in the direction of the Earth's rotation than you do if you launch at the poles, which means you need less additional speed to get up to orbital speed. The less speed you need, the less fuel you need, the less the rocket launch costs, so people prefer to launch near the equator, generally.
This statement is meaningless because it's obvious that the Kazakh ruling class has zero objections to using foreign troops to maintain the status quo. Why is that? Blaming the Russians is the right thing to do. People will not even pay attention to such a trifle and the presence of other CSTO members.
I always feel like he should go by the first letter of his name so he'd be a Blinken.
Did you say a Blinken?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.